Hello everybody and welcome to the Empty Promise podcast. My name is Chris and today you are joining me and my best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. James D. Downey.
Hello.
As we take you on episode 118. It's slightly delayed 118 at that too, D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got there. Oh, you know, we're just a little late. Just like Charlie from
we should have had the
popular television series Lost.
We should have had the late fates hate thing across our knuckles. We really missed that. That's 2 weeks now. We've completely missed the ball on Lost, Lost references.
If you're a Lost fan out there, the number 118 will obviously have significance for you. But if you're not, completely lost.
Yeah, that's way over your head, and we apologize for that. Thank you for joining.
But if you are a Lost fan and you want to see us do a Lost podcast someday, Chris, what about this for a name?
Okay.
Lost Promises. Because we're the Empty Promise podcast.
That's it. I'm done.
It's lost.
Done. We're rebranding. This is over.
Put that in the book.
It's going in right now. Lost Promises.
Yeah.
And
if
you're
you're
not
a fan of Lost, though, sort of pretend that never happened.
It's in blue as well, so we can never forget it. Which reminds me, now that we're saying this, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of the podcast, you can find the video version. Of course, it's a video version this week. Why wouldn't there be? Over at youtube.com/emptypromisepodcast. Or the audio is available on any podcast hosting service. We are delighted to have you with us on what is the 23rd of January 2021. D, it is a abysmally cold morning.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a frosty one.
I don't know what this temperature is like in Fahrenheit. I'm seeing a lot of our American friends on Instagram posting it's like weather's in the 40s and everybody's wrapped up. To me, weather in the 40s here, I'm like, what? Why are you wrapped
You're
up?
You're going to die if you go outside. You're going to be melted.
So I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but here it's freezing. It's really, really cold. But
it's like literally all day yesterday. It was like, I think the best it was like 2, but it was still like, feels like -1. It never got any better.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think next week we're going to get a slightly milder week. So, I mean, there's that to look forward to. Look, here we are talking about the weather again. Let's disband that. Let's jump into our on this day.
Mm-hmm.
While I plug my laptop in because it's going to die on me if I don't. Look at me, so unprepared. I'm back.
So, Chris, I'm going to give us the list here just so that we're. We're constantly moving, constant motion. If we stop moving, we'll die. That's what I believe on this podcast.
That's it, yeah.
23rd of January, 1931, Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova died.
Oh, was the delicious dessert named after her by any chance?
Exactly correct, Chris.
You're joking.
And,
You're
in
joking.
relation to that, I have a list of famous foods named after famous food.
This is probably the best list we've had, D.
I mean, yeah, it's like... what a treat it would be to have a dish named after you, by the way, as well. Like, world renowned. You know, so she obviously must have been very popular, or enjoyed Pavlova.
Yeah, I'll have the steak for dinner, and then I'll have the Downey for dessert. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious.
The Downey, I think it's biscuit based anyway, I believe.
Oh well, that's a shame because. This is the first one I haven't even heard of, Chris. Peach Melba and Melba toast.
You haven't heard of Peach Melba? I've had Peach Melba, yeah.
Is it nice? Yeah.
Yeah, it's peaches.
Well, that's named after Dame Nellie Melba. I almost said Dame Nellie Peach. That one's named after Princess Peach from the Mario series.
Obviously.
Garibaldi biscuits.
Oh, Garibaldi? Joseph Garibaldi? Nope, never mind.
Giuseppe Garibaldi. Maybe that's like the Italian version of Joseph, I'm not sure. He was an Italian nationalist leader. That doesn't strike me as a particularly good thing. I'm not sure. Beef Wellington. Named after the Duke of Wellington.
The Duke of Wellington. Who? Nope, that's the Earl of Sandwich. Never mind.
That's not even on here, the Earl of Sandwich.
How is the Earl of Sandwich not on there?
I don't know.
For those of you that
Wellington was the hero of the Battle of Waterloo.
Oh, like Waterloo. Did it keep if I wanted to? Yeah.
That's what that song is about. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Banoffee Pie?
No way, that's named after someone.
Count Riccardo Banoffee.
Count
Italian
Riccardo.
Statesman. Yeah.
It sounds like he's a vampire. I am Count Renato Banoffee.
I want to eat your pie. He was an Italian statesman.
That's different. That's really different, yeah.
Pavlova, we've covered. Victoria sponge cake.
Queen Victoria.
Yes.
Queen Victoria. Yeah, definitely.
Earl Grey tea.
Named after Earl Grey?
Earl Grey. That's all we have. And apple Charlotte.
Named after a lady named Charlotte?
Queen Charlotte. I've never heard of apple Charlotte. There is an important caveat here, Chris, at the bottom that Philip has noted. Regarding banoffee pie, he says, yes. I'm lying. The name banoffee is a corruption of banana and toffee, the pie's two key ingredients. So he just made that up. There is no
you see, I would believe that. Look at us feeding the masses misinformation, D.
This is what. You gotta read the footnotes, Chris. You always gotta read the footnotes in these things.
I rarely read the footnotes. I rarely do.
But yeah, there you go.
I actually have. Oh, that's good. I actually have one interesting piece. It's kind of interesting, but this dates back to January 23rd. 971. I didn't even know that they called January back in 971. How would they know this?
Yeah, well, isn't the calendar the calendar's pretty old because the
calendar's very old, but I didn't know that we had months back then. July
and August. I forget what they used to be called, but they're called July after Julius Caesar and August after Augustus Caesar. So that's how old they are. Yeah.
Okay. Well. In 971, War Elephant Corps of the Southern Han defeated at Shao by crossbow fire from Song Dynasty troops. The Southern Han state forced to submit to the Song Dynasty. This was the first regular war elephant corps in Chinese army. So basically there was a Southern corps were defeated by crossbow fire. I think that's pretty cool that's even recorded.
Mm-hmm. In the annals of time. That's going back far, man.
That's going way back, man. Yeah, way back yonder. So there you go. Some on this day for you. Because last week we were kind of touching on prohibition, weren't we?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, prohibition was a
crazy thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we have that out of the road, D, I think before we jump into this week's news, I am going to bring you another little segment. Just making a footnote there, because you always got to read the footnotes. This week, D, I am going to bring you some delicious foods that have, shall we say, rather unique names.
Yeah.
And some of which are real, some of which are not. And I want you to tell me whether or not you believe these foods to be real or not. Now, for anybody listening to the podcast, I guess you'll just have to take my word for this. But if you watch the video version, I will put the pictures of the actual foods up on screen as D is guessing. And if they're not, I will clearly indicate that I am telling a whopping lie. But anyway, so you understand the concept of this game, D?
I do.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, let me find our first food. Okay, what about this? Soup for sluts.
Soup for sluts. I mean, sluts gotta eat. Is it spelt like, is it three distinct words, soup for sluts? Or is it kind of one of these
it is spelt exactly how you would imagine. SOUP space FOR space SLUTS. Soup for sluts. Right.
I'm gonna say it's a real food. I think it's something like in America.
Okay.
In like an edgy restaurant or something that named it this.
That's your guess on what type of food this is, yeah?
Yeah. Oh shit, it's probably not soup at all. Okay, go on. What is it?
I can tell you, firstly, yes, you are correct. It is a real food. It is, the only way I can describe it is it's like a packet of ramen noodles.
Okay.
It looks Asian, and the brand is called Soup for Sluts. It's quite big. It's there. You cannot miss it. But it's called Soup for Sluts. It's a real food. So well done.
And it's ramen noodles.
It's ramen noodles. It's a type of ramen noodle. Second food, D. I want you to tell me if this one's real or if I'm making it up. Master Foods, creamy white finishing sauce.
Yeah, that's real. I believe it. I believe it 100%. And I think they knew what they were doing. Yeah, they did it, and they knew what they were doing. Yeah, that's real. I believe it.
Yeah, and you want to tell me what kind of food you believe this to be? I guess.
I think it's like for pastries and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. It's like a decorative thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, T, yes, you are 100% correct. It is a real food. Master Foods creamy white finishing sauce. It appears to be like a packet of almost like, like the cheese mix sauces that we would get here for cauliflower cheese and casseroles and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
It appears to be one of those, but it is a real food. Creamy white finishing sauce.
Yep. They knew what they were doing. Like, they 100% knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Okay. What about this next one? Fanny smackers.
Okay, right.
There's a lot of weird names for like sweets and stuff nowadays, especially in the States.
That's where I'm thinking. It's States. In the States, fanny means your butt anyway, doesn't it? Your bum. So it's not. It doesn't have the same connotations over there. So I think it is real, and I think it's just like a what's it called? Fanny smackers.
Fanny smackers, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just like Butterfingers or something like that.
Oh
like
yeah, okay, yeah, okay. I can tell you that one is fake. That one is not real. Although in saying that, I haven't researched to find out whether or not that one could be real. It very much could be. Why would my face be real? You? I made that one up. Yeah, that was just a.
If it's not, it should be.
It sounds like something because I thought, like you said, it sounds like something I would find down a sugary aisle in like a Walmart or somewhere.
Yeah,
like
man,
fresh.
I tell you what, that should be our brand, Fanny Smackers. Fanny Smackers, chocolate bars.
Oh nuts. Yeah, okay, with nuts. Yeah. I'll give you another one here. Fresh. So the make is Gamma. Fresh semen dip.
Like, I'll tell you why I think it's real. I think it's because you told me the make is Gamma, right? So I think that's too specific for a made-up one, and I'm like,
okay,
I don't know what it is.
Semen dip.
Semen dip?
Yeah,
is it literally semen dip from some kind of animal?
I don't know. Why don't we go one more? We spell semen CEMEN.
Ah, okay, right, semen dip. All right, okay then. Then that's probably something obscure. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you that one is 100% real. It looks like a ready-made guacamole or hummus dip you would find in your local grocery market. But I don't know why it's called semen dip. I don't know what it's made out of. There's nothing screaming at me what this is made out of.
I love the idea that the package is just like, that's all it says is fresh semen dip. It's on the aisle. There's no ingredients. There's no nutritional information. You just have to take it for its word. Yeah. It is what it is. Away you go. Take a chance on this one.
Okay. I want you to tell me this next one, Dave. I've got two more for you. I want you to tell me if this sounds real or made up. The Jew's ear juice.
Fuck. Like, that's... What?
The Jew's...
There's too much going on there.
Ear juice.
Is this... And this is in English, like?
This is 100% in English, yeah. There's no way I could read it if it's a different language.
But is it like translated to English is what I meant? Like,
no, it's English on the packaging. It's English.
I really don't know about that one. Like, that just seems... I feel like it could be like from like an some old business in like... not in like America or England. In like maybe Sweden or not Sweden. Some European country where it's kind of like it's kind of like a colloquial joke or something. Yeah. Because I have never heard. Like, I don't get that at all.
Do you want to hazard a guess as to what this food could be?
It's juice, so it's a liquid. Like, is it a beverage? Is it a drink?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I give you half marks for that one, D. The Jew's ear juice is in fact a real product. It seems to come from, again, Asia, maybe Japan. I'm not quite sure of the writing. Forgive me, but it is a beer. As far as I can tell,
ear juice.
It comes in a silver can with a red label and black writing across the front. The Jew's ear juice. I mean, that's just different.
See, maybe it is like a really bad translation of something. Then possibly.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
Last one for you, D. Tell me if this is real. Pet sweat.
I mean, pet sweat. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's a trick.
Okay. I can tell you that one is real.
Oh, no, really?
Believe it or not. And it actually is I'll describe the picture to you. It is a clear bottle of what looks like water, blue label, and it is labeled pet sweat, and there's a picture of a dog on it. However, it is marketed for humans, so I have no idea what that is. I have no idea.
Is it alcoholic?
No.
It's not alcoholic?
It looks very much just like a standard bottle of water, and it shows a picture of a dog on it, and it says pet sweat. Again, there's some kind of like Eastern writing on it, Cantonese or Japanese or something. I can't tell.
My God, I don't.
But there it is. If you're listening to this podcast, again, check out the video version. I will put these on screen, and I will probably make a clip video of this on our Instagram if you want to check that out too. But there you go, Dee. Thank you for playing along with other foods. Some of the other ones that I didn't mention, Dee, were Finger Marie, which were biscuits, Vagina beer, homemade jam black raspberry with the headline or the tagline, tastes like grandma. We have a can of Manhattan-style fish assholes. We have a box of cream colons. We have an iced lolly from Australia called Golden Gay Time. We have a packet of breast munchies, which just sounds terrible. And we have cock macaroni. Again, all pictures I will put on our Instagram or on the video version of this podcast. But thank you for playing along, Dee, with foods that sound like they should not be foods.
A terrific game, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll have more silly segments again next week.
Man, I'm telling you, Fanny Smackers is like that's brand worthy right there.
Yeah,
like that's rebrand worthy actually. Fanny Smackers.
The three fake names I had here for you, D, were Fanny Smackers, Creamy Holes, and Dangle Balls. So I should give you one of those as a
Dangle Balls. I like that one. That's like a
I should be
rebrand of
marketing, I think.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Dangle balls. Have your balls dangled. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get the news of the week, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so hit me up. What do we got for some news this week, D?
Give me one moment to cough. I just don't want to have I want to be unobstructed when I present the news, Chris. I apologize.
Okay, well, while you present some of the news, I'm gonna break into this Misfits plant-based chocolate brownie bar. I'm gonna take a small bite of it.
Fanny Smackers chocolate brownie bar,
and I'll tell you exactly what it tastes of.
Okay, I'm gonna start with something that we could potentially be covering in the future.
Okay.
As a podcast episode, depending on what comes out of this. The CIA is releasing UFO, I quote, Black Vault documents. So,
what does this mean exactly?
It's hard to say precisely what it means. Okay, what's happened is that they've been told to disclose this information about UFOs. I think it was passed as part of like the big COVID relief bill they had over in America. But they decided once they realized that they were going to have to do it, they decided to release them early, and everything is being made available online. So thousands of the CIA documents on unidentified flying objects or unidentified aerial phenomena are now accessible via download at the Black Vault, a website operated by author and fellow podcaster John Greenwald Jr. They claim they have provided all the information that they have, though there's no way to know if that's true. So that's what I mean in that we don't know precisely what it means. They're saying they're giving everything, but obviously if there's something that they didn't want to give, it's the CIA, so they probably just wouldn't.
So does this like entail like documents from, say, like Roswell and the famous Tic Tac and all that kind of thing?
Apparently, yeah, it's all unidentified flying objects. So I don't know, maybe if the events in Roswell don't fall under that category specifically because it was
because it was a weather balloon, D?
Oh yeah, or because like it was actually like a crash and there was like on the ground investigation.
No, D, that didn't happen. It was a weather balloon.
Oh yeah, the
government
obviously
told us it was a weather balloon. So, why would they lie?
That's what it was.
Exactly. Wow, okay. So when is this being made public, or is it public?
It is public. You can go check this out right now. They released it. They would have had to do it by some point in January. but they decided to do it early just because they were like, well, we have.
But is this the same way that they released like the say like the Kennedy assassination documents, and basically what they can do is they can release their documents but still have blanked out all of the like important details as such? You know the way like it I don't know if it's rumor or not, but the government have to release US government have to release documents after like 70 years or whatever. And they do that, but they just basically release what they want to release to the public. Like there's nothing saying that they have to release quote unquote the truth. Is this going to be another one of those? Or
I think possibly. Like I think already you can see here. Among the cache's most intriguing clues is a heavily redacted document. So they're redacting. I guess it's probably things like personal identifiable information. Like you can't really, release things that have like say a person spots a UFO. Like you can't really release their name, address.
Oh yeah, because data protection and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I guess you're probably right in that they can probably redact as much as they want.
Redact, that's it. Yeah,
and then be like, oh yeah, it's for protecting people's privacy, blah blah blah, or they could just black out whatever, because and again they don't have to, like they say they release it all, but like I mean it's the CIA. Who's going to go in and check? Exactly, the FBI.
That's interesting. Just as bad. I think we should definitely cover that in a near future episode because
I think there's probably so much though that they're gonna. I'm gonna let all of the.
They're gonna drip.
Yeah,
I'd say they're just gonna
find all of them.
Yeah, they're gonna drip feed it to us for sure.
Oh no, it's all like it's wholesale. Just
really?
It's done.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I suppose let all the theorists get their information out of the road first of all, and then we can just gobble all that up and do our own episode with the truth.
Exactly. Coming soon, guys. So if you're not, I don't know, can you subscribe to a podcast? If you can, do, and then you'll not miss it.
Of course you can subscribe to a podcast. You can subscribe over at youtube.com/emptypromisepodcast.
You can follow on Spotify. There's other different words for it, but there's always a way of doing it. So if you're interested, please hit that button. Click that bell. Smash that like button. You got one for me, Chris?
I do, although it's a little bit, it's kind of sad news. It was the news I presented to you yesterday about the actress Mira Furlan, who is the Babylon 5 and Lost actress that we know. She played Danielle Rousseau in Lost, the crazy French chick. Sadly, she passed away yesterday at the age of 65.
Smart.
Her family told the BBC and other news outlets that the Croatian actress died on Wednesday due to complications with West Nile virus.
Oh dear.
Yeah. She was a woman full of strength, kindness, and compassion. She died peacefully at her home in Los Angeles, surrounded by her family. We will all continue to celebrate her life and legacy and know that she will always be here with us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad to hear that. I don't know what
she was such a mysterious figure in Lost. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
She had that aura about her.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what the West Nile virus is? Do you?
No, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going to look into that. Just on account of the news and that. But yeah, it was sad news to hear. I mean, I know actors and actresses and people in the media, and they pass away all the time. But whenever it's someone that you kind of like watched a lot of on TV, it always hits you that wee bit harder. So,
yep,
yeah. But
probably for a lot of people listening, it won't be of such an impact. But for us who grew up,
although Babylon 5
every day,
Babylon 5 is pretty big. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
but yeah, a little bit of sad news. But I'm hoping you can pick me back up.
I mean, I think I can. Fans of Forrest Fenn news might enjoy this one. It's not about Forrest Fenn. It's tangentially related though. This is about a British bird watcher who discovered 1,300 pieces of a buried treasure, of buried gold, out in the I was about to say the British wilderness, but that doesn't exist. Just out in the countryside. We don't have any wilderness in like UK or Ireland.
Oh, we have the Lake Districts thing then.
Yeah, but it's like no, because you go there for your holiday. You go there for like
hiking and stuff.
Scenic views. You're never. I mean, I guess up in the mountains in like Scotland, the Highlands, they could be kind of.
Oh yeah, the moors.
That's about as wild as it gets, I suppose. But there's nothing around for miles and miles. But that's not where this happened. That's not relevant at all. This New accidental find by an unnamed Brit totals 1,300 gold pieces, which appear to be handmade coins from 1st century CE. So that's,
wow,
that's 100 year 100 and something. No, not even year 100. Year 0 and like maybe 96 or something like that. That's crazy old.
Wow. 1st century. Wow.
The Iron Age Celtic coin hoard is thought by researchers to date to the reign of the warrior queen Boudica, who led her people in revolt against the Roman occupation of Britain. So, back in Roman times.
Wow. And these were just found, what, just like, how did he find them? What, were they just like lying in the open or something? Or
no, actually, it's kind of cool. He was enjoying a fall walk when he stopped to observe a buzzard and magpies frolicking in a field. What a good word, frolicking. Noticing something shiny on the ground, he picked up a hand-hewn, so hand-hewn, I guess that means like handcrafted, and clearly ancient coin. So he went home and grabbed his metal detector, which probably is commonly used for searching small fields and beaches for buried artifacts. Yeah. I was like, this is a bird watcher who has a metal detector. I was like, there's definitely a category that this guy falls into. Not to try and make fun of him right now.
No, but I mean, I wouldn't be running home to grab my metal detector. Yeah, I wish I had a metal detector, but I don't.
I was so badly wanted a metal detector as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew if I had one, I just would have been. There would have been so much disappointment in my life because realistically, you're not going to find a cache of 1,300 gold pieces. You're just not.
You never know. You just don't know, dude.
You never
I mean, I
know.
guess this guy who was out for his nice fall walk didn't think he would stumble upon,
Well, it's good that he did though, because he found it,
Yeah, now we have news. Thank God.
Exactly. He instantly detected a large cache of metal not far below the surface. He dug down about 18 inches before he encountered a copper vessel full of ancient coins.
Like that's not that far down. What, like 3 feet down? That's not. No.
Not even.
No, a foot and a half.
Not even. Yeah, a foot and a half. Wow. But yeah, like I mean, if you weren't looking for it, how would you know about
Crazy.
it?
True.
You just stumbled upon it. I think the way it works in the UK as well, if you find a treasure like that, you can't just keep it.
Oh, of course not.
There's like a law of the land or whatever. So apparently, if it gets sold to a museum of some description, he will get a portion of that sale. But
what if he took it home, right?
He's not the millionaire you might think he is,
and kept it, and then say for example he waits for like maybe all his relatives, like older relatives, are dead, and then he just brings it somewhere and be like, yeah, this was passed down to me through generation to generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
Then
he could like. Probably, yeah. I mean, he could just lie and just say like, oh yeah, I bought it off eBay.
True.
Or he could just say nothing and just sell it.
Yeah.
On the black market, Chris.
The black market.
I don't know.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting news.
Ancient coins. But.
If you stumbled upon, here's a question: if you stumbled upon some ancient treasure, like what would your go-to be? Like, would you turn it in? Would you contact a museum?
Nah, like my go-to would probably be like try and keep it, like if I can.
Yeah.
Or sell it. Like I want to make money off my discovery.
To tell me first of all.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Straight on the blower. Guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what just happened?
Get over here. Yeah. Bring your metal detector, for crying out loud.
It's like that, like kind of like if you stumble upon like millions of dollars, like what are you going to do with it? But
oh yeah, like I mean.
But you know what?
You're going to have like a difficult situation, but like my impulse is going to be like, I want to keep the money.
That's it. But here's the thing. Do you know what show made that real, like put that into like clear context for me that is just not what could happen? Is Ozark. Have you watched Ozark?
No, I haven't.
They basically highlight the fact that if you stumbled upon like a vessel of money, like there is no way, well in the US anyway, there is no way without laundering that money you're going to get to keep that money. Like, and just like, pay with cash. The only thing you can pay with cash is groceries. And say you find like $1 million. Like, I mean, sure, your groceries are covered for the rest of your life, but what, you can't like invest it. You can't do anything. Because as soon as that hits your bank, the IRS are going to be all over it like a rash. Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Exactly. And there's always a paper trail with cash. So, good luck to you, buddy. I don't know. Maybe our government isn't too bad on things like that, but I don't know.
I have no clue. I'll probably cross that bridge, Chris, when I come to it, when I make my discovery.
Yeah, true. Watch Ozark, by the way. Watch Ozark. So.
Do you know what I thought you were going to say when you said that about the money? I thought you were going to say No Country for Old Men, because that's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
He had a similar predicament.
He did, yeah.
And then I woke up.
Oh man, what a great... Yeah,
I said that the other night to myself, and I was like, where am I getting that from? I spent the next 45 minutes trying to work out where that was from. And then it hit me, and I was like, thank God that I got
you know
that.
what you should have said there? You should have said, I spent the next 45 minutes trying to figure out where that was from. And then I woke up.
I should have said that.
You had me at the edge of my seat, titillated. Titillated. I don't even know what the word is right now.
That's why I'm not a Coen brother, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, I've done some work for him. I've done some work for them, you know. Yeah. Just great movie as well. I love that movie.
Christopher.
Yes, GMC Downer.
Have we ever spoken about Gwyneth Paltrow's unique candles on this podcast?
Oh yeah, the one that like smells. Yeah, I don't even want to say what it smells, but I think you told me before. Isn't there one that smells like sweat or smells like a fucking vagina or something?
It's her vagina specifically, not just a vagina. It's Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle. It's not called. I think it's called This Smells Like My Vagina. That's the candle you can buy.
We need this for our studio.
Well, you can't get it because it instantly sold out. Like it sold out like that straight away.
You're joking. So it's like it's like a streamer's bathwater.
It is like the streamer's bathwater, yeah.
Jesus.
That happened like a while ago, and then she released like another version of it. This Smells Like My Orgasm. So now there's two versions of them out there.
I'm compelled. I kind of want to know what that smells like.
Do not be so hasty, Chris. Because the news that I have for you this week is that
she was faking it. Oh
no. She was faking it. It's not a real orgasm smell, I guess. No, it exploded and started an inferno in a woman's living room in the UK.
Well, what do you expect? That's the exact thing she was going for. That's what her orgasm's like, Steve. It's an inferno, you know? It's a metaphorical thing, you know?
all those other ones that are sold, they're just duds. That's the only real one.
You gotta read the small print at the very bottom, you know? May cause inferno damage to self and others. I don't know. My God, what a lady.
Yeah,
what a lady.
This happened to Jodie Thompson in North London. She apparently got the candle in an online quiz. When she lit it, it exploded, emitted huge flames with bits flying everywhere. The whole thing was ablaze and it was too hot to touch. There was an inferno in the room. Eventually she and her partner got it under control and threw it out of the front door. It could have burned the place down.
I mean, that sounds, too hot to touch, exploded in the room, threw it out the front door. That's exactly what Paltrow was going for. That's what her orgasm was like.
Yeah. That's the commitment she had to it. I appreciate that. You gotta appreciate that. It was scary at the time, but funny looking back that Gwyneth's vagina candle exploded in my living room. So I guess you have brilliant. That.
I wonder, has she come out and made an apology or anything,
I don't think
probably
so.
Not,
there's
probably
nothing
not.
official.
Talk about what a lady, but she is an absolute tycoon.
How much would you pay for a Vagina Scented candle? Gwyneth Paltrow's Vagina Scented.
Honestly, no more than 20 quid. Because, I mean, if I got to pay for a big Yankee candle, I might pay about £18. So no more than 20 quid. Maybe 25.
$75.
I lied. I'd pay that. No problem. No, I would not pay that. Although I really want to know, does it give you what the scent is? Hints of shea butter and fucking star anise or something. I don't know what the hell
I do have the scents available, Chris, if you want to hear them.
Of course I do.
I don't understand right now. They've said the candle is called This Smells Like My Orgasm, but then they've described it as a goop. Oh no, yeah. Oh, I'm so retarded. I apologize. Goop vagina candle. I thought it said goop vanilla candle.
Oh, okay.
It's not vanilla.
So it doesn't give us the sense there?
It does, yeah. It's composed of geranium.
Geranium, okay.
Citrusy bergamot.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to write these down. So geranium.
Why are you writing these down?
Because I can pick up
yourself, Chris.
No, but I can pick up the the essential oils. My mum would use essential oils, and I know that you can get these scents: geranium, citrus bergamot, and we're going to make our own vagina scented candle.
Okay, excellent. That's a thing for sure.
Call them out to me again. Geranium.
Geranium, citrusy bergamot. I don't know how you say that. And cedar absolutes. Oh my god, this is such a fucking bouquet candle maker line here. Cedar absolutes juxtaposed with damask rose and amberette seed.
Rose.
That's what it is, Chris.
So basically, it's geranium, bergamot, cedarwood, and rose. I can get those. I can get
damask rose and ambrette seed, Chris.
Yeah, it's cedarwood and rose. Right. That's it. All right. I'm going to get these. We're going to combine them. Next time we're in the studio together, we will combine these, and we will have our own kind of weird orgasmic Vagina Scented candle from Gwyneth Paltrow. That's not actually Gwyneth Paltrow, but you will be able to find them on our website, retailing at $74.
Fanny smackers, find them on. That's what we call them.
There you go. Holy shit, that's brilliant. Fanny smackers. I tell you, you know what? Do you know who loves aromatherapy?
A good fanny
and stuff?
smacker?
Yeah, is the main man. He's always using like diffusers and stuff. So if you're listening to this, Gav, you know. Here's an investment opportunity
you need.
Here's an investment opportunity for you. You know, if you just
tell
4,000
get you in on the base tier. 12 will get you in at intermediate. We'll get you in as a partner for like half a mil.
All you got to do is tell one other person and get them to tell one other person. It's not a pyramid scheme, but if they keep telling people, we will grow. Kind of, like this. I'm just picturing that scene in The Office where Michael's like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. And Jim draws the diagram.
Triangle.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I am assuming that you got me some Caging the Beast.
Yes.
Okay. Are we going to that? Are we going to that segment now?
Yeah. Okay. Roll the music.
This is Caging the Beast. Rawr!
Thank you.
Every week.
This week, Chris, we do have some more visceral Nick Cage news. Visceral in the sense that you can view it.
Cool.
A new trailer has dropped of the Nick Cage horror classic. It will be a horror classic. Wally's Wonderland?
No, it hasn't. Has it actually? Holy shit. It has
indeed. Now, we've talked about this before.
Big news.
This is basically the Five Nights at Freddy's kind of take. It's like a haunted amusement park with the animatronic figures that come to life. Essentially,
big freaking fan of Five Nights D. I'm a big fan of that franchise.
Well, this trailer, Chris, reveals a lot. Not a lot in terms of story, but like the tone of the movie has been kind of set up. Okay. And we have a release date, February 19th
of this year.
Of this year, yeah. I think it's going to be like streaming and stuff like that. So
that's it. I'm clearing my schedule for the week.
In terms of this trailer, like, it is there's a lot to take in. Like, I think Nick Cage's character agrees to clean the amusement park over one night. I'm pretty sure he doesn't speak a word throughout the entirety of the trailer. He is like the silent, strong, silent type, mysterious stranger.
Okay.
There's also a group of teenagers, frisky teenagers. This
movie's
also involved somehow.
I like this. It's got everything I need in the movie.
Just to give you the full kind of sample of what we're talking about here, there is just one random cut shot to a close up of a woman zipping up her top. So, get that in your mind. We're really talking about like these like 80s, 90s like slasher teen.
Oh yes,
romp type shows.
This has got my name written all over it.
But my favorite part, Chris, right? My absolute favorite part of this trailer.
Yeah.
And it actually has genuinely made me excited to see this. You've played Five Nights at Freddy's. Mm-hmm. You're familiar with the kind of you're trapped in a place with these like animatronic figures who come to life at night, kind of take you down.
Yeah.
There is word for word a line in the trailer that says, "He's not trapped in there with them; they are trapped in there with him."
Oh Jesus!
So Nick Cage is not worried at all about these animatronic figures, Chris. And I am so excited to see it.
So good. Oh my goodness.
It's so cheesy, but I'm so ready for it.
Remind me on our next podcast to wear some Five Nights kind of merch to get the whole thing going, because at that point we'll be into February nearly, and I want to build up over a couple of weeks to the big debut of this movie. Speaking of which, I haven't actually paid to rent that Jiu-Jitsu movie yet on Amazon Prime. The Nick Cage one.
Oh yeah, Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah,
I've heard. I've heard fine things about it.
I want to know what it's about, but I mean, this Wally's. I take it it's obviously going to come out on straight to Netflix or Prime or something like that.
Yeah, it's straight to something like
It's 100% being bought straight off the bat.
There you go. Okay.
Oh my god, what a review! That's actually what about that could be our episode for that week. We'll just do a review of Wally's like Wonder Woman, whatever it's called.
Yeah, we should do.
Well, buy it and you can watch it. I can watch it, and we'll. Oh god, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Excellent. Oh, so good. What great news, Dee. Thank you so much for bringing me that this week. I needed to hear that.
Absolutely, Chris.
And I've made my notes, as you can see, for vagina candles.
Mm-hmm. That's what you need to recreate the effect.
Before we move on to our main topic of this week, which I am just so excited to hear, let us just say to everybody listening to the podcast or viewing the podcast, thank you so much for finding us. This is the Empty Promise Podcast, the show in which my best friend and I sit down every week to discuss whatever we find interesting, really. It could be a fantastic human feat, a serial killer, or in this case, just an amazing story from somewhere around the globe. We bring you a little bit of news and we bring you Personal with the Podcast, which is what we get up to during the weeks. We thank you all for finding it. And remember, you can find us on any podcast hosting service or YouTube/Empty Promise Podcast is where you'll find the video version. If you are listening to us somewhere where you can leave us a review and or hit that like star button, you know, the rating system?
Star button. Hit that star button. No, just hit all 5 of them, man, please.
Yeah, hit all 5 of them. Over here. That'll be excellent. It really helps us grow the podcast and helps us with discovery and things like that. And just comment on the video version if you want. Leave any kind of comment. It's good to hear from you all. And thank you so much for finding us. That's really it for now.
Thank you.
We'll do the rest. We'll do the rest of the ads towards the end of the show. You know, because I don't want to take away from this. We're in such good flow right now. Such good rhythm. Such ebb and flow. You're flow and I'm ebb.
It's a good name for a podcast.
Oh, it's down. It's down. It's going down. Although it has to be.
I don't want to overdo it with the podcast name suggestions, but sometimes
that stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, we're past that point, aren't we? Yeah. So for main topic this week, we have like a pretty juicy story, and not to kind of
Sorry,
I don't want to downplay the seriousness of it either.
Go ahead. Go on ahead. I was just making a note of the time. Sorry, go on ahead.
Like it's a thrilling story, but like there's some pretty horrible things that happen here, and we've had a pretty fun podcast so far. We're going to be bringing the tone down just a little bit to kind of get ourselves ready for.
But it's okay.
Sorry,
it's okay. We'll bring it back up. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, sure.
You can count the empty promise.
I don't want to do a disservice to the people in the story because it is remarkable and it's just crazy some of the stuff that happens here. You're going to hear about it. You're going to hear.
So this is the true story of Miriam Rodríguez.
This is basically real life Taken. This is if Liam Neeson was a Mexican mother.
So the whole the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, like his daughter gets kidnapped, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, okay, some liberties with that statement. But we'll get into what the true story here and what actually happened. And I said this last week when we tried to do the podcast. I'll say it again now. Like it's a matter of time until this gets picked up by Hollywood and made into a blockbuster movie. Like it's a matter of time. I am 1,000% sure this will be made into a movie.
But this is it. Like if we're saying that this is quite close to Taken and this gets made into a movie, are people just going to go, "Oh, this is just a female version of Liam Neeson"?
Because think of it, Taken is an action movie. This is what I meant to say when I'm trying to talk about bringing the mood down. Like this is a very serious story. It deals with like real problems in Mexico with like cartels and like people dying and stuff like that. So it's real. This is more of like a Sicario type deal. Real life and death situations. Okay. Yeah,
I've never seen Sicario.
Neither have I, but I can get the thing of it.
Great movie. Never seen it.
This is not like kind of like a blockbuster. We're gonna go and kicking ass, taking names. This is life and death situations, and like it's quite serious. And a lot of people are genuinely impacted.
Right.
And, like,
Okay.
lives have changed
Okay.
here.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You've built
Yes,
it up.
yes.
You've built it up for me, D. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
Now, I will start this by saying the vast majority of this little like
It's
recap
completely
has been
made up.
taken
Didn't happen.
I have taken some creative liberties. No, it has been taken from an article, right, by the New York Times, which I would highly suggest you seek it out after this. It's basically the only kind of.
I'll put it in the show notes, in the footnotes. I'll just write that down.
Yes, please do. It's basically the only consistent kind of retelling of these events, because everything else has been captured in like different pieces of news. Some of them are in Spanish, which is difficult for us to read, obviously, and kind of there's different details depending on which version you read. You know, some ages, years, stuff change. So I'd recommend that New York Times article. It's really well written as well, and it kind of ties this all in with another kind of event. It kind of gives a more in-depth overview. This is kind of just like the actual events that happened regarding Miriam Rodríguez.
Okay.
So, with all that said, let's jump in.
Yes, please. Yes.
With an excerpt from said article.
Okay.
She cut her hair, dyed it, and disguised herself as a pollster, a health worker, and an election official to get their names and addresses. She invented excuses to meet their families, unsuspecting grandmothers and cousins who gave her details, however small. She wrote everything down and stuffed it into her black computer bag, building her investigation and tracking them down, one by one. In 3 years... Yeah, go ahead.
This referring to the lady Miriam Rodríguez?
In 3 years, Mrs. Rodreguez captured nearly every living member of the crew that had abducted her daughter.
Wow. Oh, is this lady a detective? Like, is this her job?
All will become clear.
Okay. God, I'm excited. See that literal.
She chased these people down, Chris, well after the events. A lot of them had moved on. Tried to start new lives. One was a born-again Christian, a taxi driver, a car salesman, a babysitter. Like, these people were like all over the country, different professions. You know, moved away from their life of crime, but she found nearly all of them.
Wow.
In all, she was instrumental in taking down 10 different people. A mad campaign for justice that made her famous but vulnerable.
Whoa, hang on. When you said take them down, like, what are we talking here?
Put them away.
Put them away. Jesus. Right. Okay.
She got them imprisoned, right?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Now, this is the important thing to remember. No one challenged organized crime in Mexico in general, but in particular in this area of San Fernando.
Okay.
So the crime runs rampant.
Mexico to me is a place, where you don't challenge that kind of shit, like cartel kind of running everywhere. Mexico is supposed to be like one of the most, if not the most dangerous country in the world. It's also the most overpopulated city in the world, but that's a completely different thing. But I guess it kind of ties in with this, because, I mean, how do you find people in some of the most populated places?
Well, that's it, but Mexico's a big place as well, man. It's like there's regions of it which are essentially ran by the cartels, and there's other regions like Mexico City which are like very densely populated. Probably one of the reasons it's so densely populated is to get away from areas.
Okay.
But you don't fuck with you don't mess with the cartels in certain places in Mexico, and one of those places is this sort of region, San Fernando. It's like a city. I guess, what would you call it? The outskirts, like a metropolitan area, with about 60,000 people, so not like super populated at all. But it bears an infamy out of proportion to its size. Just outside the city limits, a cluster of highways untangles, each leading to a strategic border crossing with the United States. So you can imagine there's a lot of
a lot of illegal activity, a lot of illegal crossings.
A lot of smuggling, etc.
A lot of paying off of the old gringos. Is that what we say? The guards? What do you call them? I don't know. If that's offensive, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't think we say that. I also, when you say guards, all I think about is like the police in the Republic.
Oh, the Guard of Shere Khanna? Yeah, okay.
Stood there with their big luminous jackets.
With absolutely no sense of protection whatsoever. Yeah, I get it.
Basically, that's it. It's the smuggling routes ideal for traffickers. And we're talking like human trafficking, drug trafficking, all of the sort of most heinous crimes you can imagine. In 2010, Chris, federal authorities discovered the corpses of 72 Central American migrants at a ranch just on the city's outskirts. So essentially a mass grave of 72 people were just found.
Wow.
And all of them perpetrated by a cartel.
I was going to say this is cartel, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You would think that's kind of the biggest news.
2010, D. Like, that's fucking 11 years ago. That's nothing. Like holy shit.
It's modern day.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the big scandal in San Fernando until the following year when rampant abductions of bus passengers led to the unearthing of nearly 200 bodies.
Holy shit.
I think it was again,
all
bodies.
Instrumented by cartel?
All by cartel. So like it's abductions of bus passengers. So we'll kind of get into this a little bit more. This is like people who are maybe crossing the border, coming from America maybe, or even just local residents who are being captured and ransomed to try and make money for the cartels to operate.
I almost forgot there as well, D. If you've seen our analytics last week, you will know that our like third most listened to country or fourth last week was Mexico. So well, there you go. If anybody knows anything about this and you're listening to this, please let us know more about this story, this and these events, because this is fascinating to us who live in little rural Ireland, you know. Yeah,
because I don't want to misrepresent Mexico, because all I really have is talking about this area, San Fernando, and these specific crimes that happened.
Yeah, Cancun's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. What's in Cancun? There's like some big temple or something there. Anyway, look, we're not talking about Cancun.
We're not.
We're in San Fernando,
and
basically the picture I'm trying to paint is a grim one, where cartels are kind of not running rampant, but they are massive impact, and it's affecting people's lives in a very real way. Like there's a very real risk of being captured, and people leave San Fernando to escape the cartels. You know, so quite a few people leave, but some stay, trying to basically stick it out. This is the quote I have. They stick it out because they had built a life in San Fernando and they would not abandon it for the sins of others.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So, yeah. I can understand that,
So, with the context of that, let's talk about the abduction of Karen Rodriguez.
Very Catholic place as well, Mexico, D.
Yes, heavily, Catholic. And very, quite devout.
Devout religion, yeah, absolutely. It's a wonder how the two can go hand in hand. But they do.
So often it seems to happen as well.
Yeah. You know? Anyway, sorry. Yes, let's get into the abduction. Wow.
It was 2014.
Fuck, this is recent, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is super recent.
I thought you were taking me back to the 80s here, D.
We're coming right up until 2 years ago, Chris. So
it's a good job I did my research, huh?
2014 was a particularly grim time in San Fernando. Bars and restaurants had closed because of things like shootouts and abductions were all happening. The mass graves that we talked about, they had become so common that finding fewer than 20 bodies at one time barely made it to the headlines. It was barely even mentioned. This is how common these things have come. The Zetas, once an armed wing of the Gulf cartel, had been warring with their one-time bosses for years. They snatched innocents for ransom to finance their war, or as for conscripts to fight it. So they were basically going and abducting people, either to ransom them off to their families, or to actually recruit them. You're now a soldier for us, kind of thing.
Wow.
Some of the more grim things that they would do, Chris, is organize death matches between captives. Just take two people, they're not getting the ransom, they're not good as soldiers, just fight to the death. Go.
Fuck.
For sport. Man.
These are this is 2014, D. This is something you hear. This is gladiatorial shit. It's not even. There's no point in putting this on a pedestal. This is just wrong. This just shouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. Exactly. Wow. But such is the power of the cartels that these kind of things were occurring. So Karen Rodriguez had decided to stay in San Fernando. She wanted to finish school, and she was helping her mum, Miriam Rodríguez, run a small cowboy apparel shop.
Oh, nice.
Rodeo Boots.
Oh, nice. I like that. Okay.
So, in answer to your question, is this woman a detective? She is not.
Oh, fuck.
She runs a small clothing store.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
She also has a job, I think, kind of nannying or something like that across the border in the States. So she was kind of
like an au pair?
Something like that. 1 or 2 days a week, so she would travel across the border. Probably one of the reasons why she had to live in San Fernando.
Are you allowed to travel across the border like that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you have your papers or whatever it is. Like,
Oh, okay.
You know, like, because like Americans go down to the border, down into Mexico all the time for like holidays and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So January 23rd, 2014. This is where we are. Karen was driving her.
Did you say January?
Car.
Did you say January 23rd?
Yep.
As in today?
Is that today? Well, there you go. This has just become a little bit more relevant.
Oh my God, D. It's like
so weird because we tried to do this last week and it didn't work.
It didn't work. We were meant to hold out to today. Something is telling us
fit.
This is going to be a big podcast, D. I can tell it. I can tell.
Is that 7 years ago today then?
7 years ago today. Oh my God, this is so weird.
7 years ago to the day, January 23rd, 2014. Karen Rodriguez was driving in her car and she was preparing to merge into traffic when 2 trucks pulled up on either side of her and kind of stopped her, prevented her from moving. Armed men forced their way into her pickup truck and took off with her in it. So she was just like that, just on the side of the road. She was trying to merge in traffic. She was abducted. They drove her to the family home where Karen lived during the week while Mrs. Rodriguez was working as a nanny in Texas. So she was away.
Okay.
She wasn't at home at the moment. So they took her to her home as she lay on the living room floor, bound and gagged, a knock came at the door. So on the presumably empty house, someone knocked on the door. It was her uncle's unsuspecting mechanic who had come to work on the family truck. So she was
bound. Oh my God! She was lying inside.
She was bound and gagged.
Oh fuck!
Exactly.
Sakes,
this mechanic comes up and knocks on the door. So what did the kidnappers do? They grabbed him too and ran. Just took him out.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time, man. Just that's what happened. As I said, like I took most of this information is coming from that New York Times article. There are other articles talking about this kidnapping, but there's a lot of conflict on what actually kind of the dates and stuff. So one other New York Times article claims that Karen went missing in 2012, not 2014. And they say that she was 20 years of age when she was taken. But another article, which was in Spanish, said 16. So kind of the details aren't 100% crystal clear here.
But we do know she was abducted. She was taken.
She was, exactly. She was driving and abducted. So,
fuck.
She's taken by the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam Rodríguez is basically left with a ransom. She's told, "We have your daughter, and you're going to have to pay to get her back."
Shit. Okay.
Now this lasted for weeks. She was kind of in this weird limbo stage where what was going to happen.
So were they like
is she alive?
Making contact with each other? Like were they kind of saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, there was a ransom that was dictated, and Mrs. Rodriguez's family took out a loan. I think this is crazy. They took out a loan from a bank, right? That specifically offered lines of credit for these kind of payments.
For ransoms. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something like that, man. Fuck. Like, why is that a thing?
Literally.
Why is that a thing?
It's kind of like, I mean, these things are happening and a bank is going to
do what they have to do
money.
to get back. I mean, on one hand, thank God there is, so that families, maybe can get like their family back. And on the other hand, you're like, well, the banks
are they just making money on people's misery?
Yeah, fuck.
I mean,
Sorry, do we know how much the ransom was for? Do we know what the ransom was for?
No, not specifically. Actually, I think I did read.
I would imagine
$3,000. Anyway,
we're talking like tens of thousands, maybe.
I think it was more like 4,000 to 5,000. And the reason I say that is because basically what happened is they followed the instructions by the kidnappers to the letter. Karen's father dropped off a bag of cash near a health clinic and waited in vain at the local cemetery for her kidnappers to like kind of release her. Mm-hmm. That never came to pass. So they basically left the money and it was taken and she was never released.
Fuck.
So kind of getting a little bit more desperate. Miriam Rodríguez, Mrs. Rodríguez, asked for a meeting with the members of the local cartel, the Zetas, to try and negotiate something, right? They actually agreed.
This lady's got some stones, man.
Exactly. That's her daughter, man,
True.
So they sent a man to speak with her. She sat down with a slender young man at a restaurant in town.
Mm-hmm.
So she's sitting there, basically begging him to release Karen. And in the background, his radio, he's got like a walkie-talkie radio type deal.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, skewing in and out, like you hear like whispers and murmurs of people talking. And he's insisting that they don't have her. They don't have the daughter. It's like, we didn't take her. But he did offer to help find her for a fee of $2,000.
Oh, of course. Okay.
So basically, a ransom in another format. He's like, pay us $2,000 and I will find your daughter for you.
A ransom within a ransom. Wow. Ranception.
Mrs. Rodriguez, obviously desperate, paid the money just for any chance to try and get her daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
But the radio that was kind of squawking in the background, kind of talking intermittently, through the static, she heard someone call this guy by his name.
Oh my goodness.
So she heard his name called out, Sama.
Fuck.
S-A-M-A. So she had a name for this guy. After a week, so she paid the $2,000, and after a week, he stopped answering the phone. This guy, Sama, stopped answering the phone. So he's basically just went cold on her.
Seen that
no
coming.
progress there. Yeah, exactly. Others called claiming to be the kidnappers. They said they needed just a little bit more money, $500, $400. The family doubted it was going to work, but at this point they were just like, just send the money. Just hope beyond a hope.
Wow,
With every payment, this is like a really saddening line from the article. With every payment, a new hope sparkled for Mrs. Rodriguez, and with every failed bid to reclaim Karen, she fell further into despair.
Wow.
So it was like, every time, every little glimmer of hope just
dashed away. Yeah.
Yeah. Even worse.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
And it had like a awful effect on the family. Mrs. Rodriguez separated from her husband throughout all of this. She moved in with her older daughter.
Fuck.
Azela. Probably I should mention that she does have 2 other children, at least. Azela, the older daughter, and a son called, actually, I don't have his name to hand. I think he'll come up a little bit later.
Azela is a nice name.
Azela is a nice name. I like that myself.
Yeah.
So one morning, while living with her daughter, she comes downstairs, and this is after like the last people have rang saying, give us just another few £100 and we will release her. She came downstairs and told Azela that she knew Karen was never coming back and that she was probably dead. I know that now. And then she said, she told her daughter she would not rest until she found the people who had taken Karen. She would hunt them down one by one until the day she died. Azela watched as her mother's sadness hardened into resolve and her hope gave way to revenge.
So basically she's just accepted the fact that she will probably never see her daughter again.
Exactly. And she's shifted gears to the point of trying to find her, to trying to find her kidnappers, to try and hunt these.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine like what kind of not even desperation, but what kind of like revenge or like motivation will be there. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, like all I can imagine is just like hopeless pain, just like particularly when like these cartels are like out killing people left, right, and center. They have so much power.
Yeah, like what chance do you have?
Helpless.
Like, yeah,
exactly. Well, in terms of her chances, she didn't have much to go on, but
she had one name. Yeah, which is crazy because how would you even think of remembering that?
Yeah. She was. This is the thing you'll learn about this woman is that every little detail.
She's astute. Yeah, she's quite. What's that word? Astute. Yeah, sorry, astute. Astute. What the fuck's that?
She's good with a tune.
Yeah, but there's a word. There's another word for that. It's past me now. She's quite. We said that Lady Diana was this as well. She's like
she's got this like
gift, not like
intuition.
Gift of intuition. She's an intuitive woman.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, like we're gonna see a lot of this, but let's start with what she had. All she had was the name Sama, right?
Okay, like Mexico's a big place.
Yeah, exactly, right.
It's got to be a lot of Samas.
Kind of unique though. I don't think it's super common, but she basically knew that this guy was involved, right? So she's like, this is the guy that they sent to speak to her. She's like, this guy has to be involved. He claimed he didn't, but she was like pretty certain. Now, she was able to confirm this because remember what happened whenever they took Karen back to the house. the mechanic knocked on the door.
Yes.
And they weren't expecting that, so they took him along. But he got released some way.
The mechanic did?
The mechanic got released. So the cartel had never intended to keep the mechanic. They didn't intend to sort of take him and ransom him. So after they let him go, Mrs. Rodriguez mined his memory for everything that he had heard or seen. So they let him go for whatever reason. I'm not even sure. They let him go. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Rodriguez went to him, basically just like, tell me everything that you know. Just like got every detail she possibly could out of him. So she was able to confirm that the guy that she talked to was involved in the kidnapping because the mechanic could recognize the features that she described.
Yeah.
So after this point, she became a social media sleuth. So this is her play, essentially, is to sit on Facebook constantly, just scrolling through people's profiles. She had access to her daughter's profile.
Mm-hmm. So
she just went through her daughter's profile looking for clues, just for days and days and days, just like looking for any hint of a clue or whatever.
Yeah.
One morning, she discovered a Facebook photograph tagged with the name Sama.
Oh, fuck, right.
So someone had tagged him in Facebook, right? So she recognized him immediately because she'd actually sat in front and talked to him.
Yeah.
So she recognized his face. Standing beside him in the photo was a young woman wearing the uniform of an ice cream shop 2 hours away in Ciudad Victoria.
Okay, so we're starting to get some leads here. Yeah.
Exactly. Now she has a location for this guy. So she's narrowed it down to a city that's 2 hours away.
Ooh.
So she goes there. She stalks the store for weeks until she knew that woman's working hours off by heart.
What?
She waited out each... She watched, like, she just sat and watched.
So she didn't just walk in like most people would and just demand answers?
No, she sat and just watched it. Noted everything down.
How do you have there's patience for this, man?
Yeah, she did. She had insane patience, man. Apparently, there's a few times where she had to call her son to come over and like help her start her car because she'd been sitting into it playing the radio for just hours and hours and hours on end, watching people. So she knew this woman's working hours off by heart. She waited outside each shift until Sama showed up. So she was banking on him coming to meet her after work.
Yeah. And
he finally did.
Oh my goodness.
She followed them home and marked the address that she'd got. So now she knew where he lived. What she'd worked at. But she had a problem. She needed police to help. She needed the police to come and arrest this man. Right?
Yes.
She needed proof that he did what he'd done. She needed like more details. All she had was like a location of where he would be.
Yeah.
But to get the police into action, she needed more. She needed a name, a full name, more details. So she decides she has to get closer.
Okay.
She cut her hair, dyed it bright red, so that Sama
wouldn't recognize her. Oh my god.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Right, this is brilliant. She used to have a job at the health ministry, right? So she took her old uniform, which was a government uniform, which had like an old ID.
Yeah. And
she put that on, spent the better part of a day conducting a fake poll of the neighbourhood until she got basic details on one of her daughter's captors. So she went around the houses around this guy, pretending to be a government official.
Oh my days. And
she got as much information that she could about this guy Sama and his apartment and who he was.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So now she goes to the authorities. She goes local, state and federal, and all of them basically just say no. Just like no.
Okay.
They don't have enough.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I don't. There's not even specifics about why she kept getting rejected. Basically, it's back to this thing with the cartel just being like so fucking powerful.
Okay.
So now she's going to like the authorities like a door-to-door salesman, just trying to sell this thing. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a guy committed a crime. I have proof. You can go find him, arrest him. Finally, she finds somebody who's willing to help.
Like, is she going door to door with like authorities, or is she going door to door with like regular people who are just
with authorities? Like, she's trying local police, she's trying like the state police, she's going to the government police, everything.
Local and global citizenship, D. Wow.
Exactly, Chris. Accent class. So she finally finds a federal policeman, and he's willing to actually help her. She drops her files onto the table, And he says, I had never seen, this is a quote from him, I had never seen anything like it. This guy is still an active police officer, so he's in here as an anonymous person, but he won't give his name. And he says, the details and information gathered by this woman, working all alone, were incredible. She had gone to every single level of government, and they had slammed the door in her face. To help her hunt down the people who took her daughter, it was the greatest privilege of my career. That's what he says.
Fuck.
She finally found someone.
What? As you're explaining this story, all I can see is like this in playing out in like a Hollywood type kind of movie.
I know.
I can't believe this is a real thing.
I know. That's what I'm like. It will definitely be made into a movie. Like
somebody finally takes on her case.
Exactly. She's finally got help, you know?
Quite similar to last week's story of the Sun Gym gang. There was that one detective, Ed Dubois, who took on Mark Schillner's case. Just all it takes is that one guy to just help. You know, everybody else closes the door, but someone's there. Someone with a good heart.
You just gotta be persistent, you know? And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people will just like take...
You know what it is, Dee?
Can't be helped.
Ignorant persistence.
That's it. Just don't give up no matter what.
That could be a rebrand. Yeah.
That was it. We were described as that once, weren't we? Or something?
We were described as sickeningly likable.
Ain't that the truth? So, here we are. She's finally got help. Mm-hmm. But, by the time the government issued an arrest warrant, so by the time she got this help, and was able to actually get this guy arrested, Sama skipped town. He was out.
Fuck. Okay.
So he left this place that she had tracked him down to. He must have got a word to the heat, or maybe he just genuinely just left. Right
enough. I mean, if she's going door to door, and like as you say, most of these places are kind of like not cartel run, but they definitely have links with them. What's stopping like them reporting back to the cartel, going, "Listen, we've got a lady here. I think she might find out some shit." Possibly. I guess they're probably still thinking as well, you know, she's just a lady. What damage is she going to do?
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
They're like, they don't know that this is related to anything that they've done. Yeah. This is just a woman.
And as you say, the cartel take and kill so many people. Like, this could be in relation to anything.
Exactly. Like, they I don't think they'd even concern themselves with it. Like,
so intrigued.
I'm not saying, like, we don't even know if this guy was still in the cartel necessarily, you know? Because this is almost a year afterwards.
Yeah.
This is late 2014. This is all happening. So, okay. He basically gets away, right?
Okay.
And Mrs. Rodriguez goes back into trying to identify the rest of the crew. So she's kind of missed her chance with Sama, but she's not giving up on the rest. So she starts like getting photographs of Sama with people to try and work out who he's with, who he's working with, and before long, she has a bunch of pictures of Sama with other people that she can kind of try and work out who else was in the cartel.
Wow.
But, just like that, out of the blue, Sama pops back up again.
Oh, does he now?
He does.
Okay.
September 15th, 2014. This is like the day of or the day before Mexican independence is celebrated, so it's kind of like shops close down early, they're all getting ready for a big party. Mrs. Rodriguez, this is incredible, Chris. Yeah. Mrs. Rodriguez's son, Luis, right?
Yeah.
He's closing down his own shop in Ciudad Victoria. I just can't. Who walks in?
Hang on. He's. What did you say that again?
He's closing down his own shop in that town, so completely unrelated. He's just shutting down for the day, and somebody walks in. A young, slender man.
It's not. It's Sama, isn't it?
It's Sama.
Holy! And does this
walks
guy
into her son's shop?
Does this guy know who Sama is?
Immediately recognizes him.
Holy shit!
So he drops what he's doing.
What is the son's shop? Do you know? Do you know what kind of store he runs?
I don't know actually. Specifically
it's not overly like relevant to the story. I know, but I like to picture things in my head.
Well, if you want to picture something, Chris, Sama was looking at hats.
He was looking at hats?
He was looking for a hat.
Okay, so. A big sombrero, maybe?
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe it's a gift shop. Maybe it's a gift shop. It's a gift shop. It's a gift shop.
A neat fedora, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So, he basically goes in for a closer look. Confirms it's Sama. Picks up the phone, rings his mother, and tells her, I've got him. He's here, blah, blah, blah. Follows him out of the shop. Keeps with him as he's like sort of walking through the streets, and basically is waiting for the police to come so that he can like identify him.
Wow.
In the central plaza, the police storm in, arrest him right there.
So
Sama is kicking and screaming.
So hang on, sorry, I just need to go back just before, just so I understand. How is it that they are able to arrest him now? What have they got on him? Is it the fact that
an arrest warrant?
Is that because he like skipped town?
No, because they had an arrest warrant to arrest him.
Okay, yeah.
And then they went to his location.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. He's up for arrest that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now that they found him. So they come in. They're arresting him for the evidence that Mrs. Rodriguez has presented. That's why they want him. Yes. So they finally get him. Look at that delivery service.
I know. I just got a nice hot cup of coffee delivered to me. That was delicious.
That's incredible. I wonder what I get.
Wish for it, D. If you wish for it, you will achieve it. If you deserve it, the universe will serve it.
You send Carl up the road to me there. So Sama, right, gets basically taken down in the middle of a big open plaza. He's like kicking and screaming. He's shouting that he has like a heart condition that they can't arrest him. He's basically like, what I'm imagining here is I'm imagining like a creature who's cornered and he's just like scrawling to like get out because he's been got essentially.
Yeah. He's been found. He's been got. Yeah.
He has been got. They get him arrested. They get him into custody, right? And now they're questioning him. They're trying to get him to fill in the blanks, from what Mrs. Rodriguez has already found out a lot, but they want to find, specifics, names, locations, accomplices. Sama gives some information. One person that they get who proves to be critical, right, is this guy, Christian Jose Zapata Gonzalez. This kid was barely 18 when the police picked him up. Now, that means he was probably 17 or 16 whenever this event kicked off, the abduction actually occurred. So he's a kid, right, essentially. The police pick him up. He's actually like genuinely frightened during his questioning. He's nervous, he's not. He seems like a kid who's scared.
Just the type of person that you're going to get information out of, D.
Exactly, Chris. He was asking like, could he see his mother? He was asking for his mum.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
But Chris,
he's scared.
Now I know what you're thinking, and this is what I was thinking too. Is like, you got a kid, he's scared, he's not ready. You can press on him a little. You'll probably get a lot
put
out
the pressure and put the heat on him. Yeah, maybe leave him locked up in the interrogation room for a couple of hours. Let him stew. Do the good cop, bad cop. Do you want a coffee, donut, anything I can get you? And then bang,
smack him in the face.
Then we nail him.
No. That's where we would go. That's where the police officers would probably go. But when Mrs. Rodriguez hears the kid say that he's hungry, she goes into the room, gave the teenager her lunch and a piece of fried chicken, and then she left the room and bought him a Coke. When she comes back in, the police officer goes, "What are you thinking? What are you doing here?" And she says, he's still a child, no matter what he did, and I am still a mother.
I was just about to say, she's a fucking mother. That is such a maternal instinct right there. Oh my days! Yeah. You know what? I can only pray for a good outcome of this, Steve, for this woman, because this woman is a saint so far.
Yeah, she really is.
Oh my goodness!
She says, "When I heard him just now, it was like my own child." And the article says, perhaps softened by her kindness, Christian told them everything. So potentially her kindness to him is what made him willing to actually tell.
Kill him, yeah.
To tell all. Maybe settle them a little bit less afraid,
Okay, here we go. So we're getting somewhere. So she's going to get the information she finally needs about her daughter's whereabouts. Exactly.
So this is the really critical thing here is that this kid, Christian, he says, I'm willing to take you. He says, I'll take you to the ranch where they killed them. That's what he says.
Where they killed them?
Where they killed them. So he says he's going to take them to a ranch where the mass murders essentially were committed. And he says their bodies should still be buried.
So are we saying now that the daughter is for definite dead?
That's what Christian is saying. He's going to take him to the bodies, and he's implying that she was killed. So now they have to actually go there and search, to confirm. That's where we're at. So, basically they're out in like an abandoned ranch at the end of a dirt road. This building is like covered in bullet holes. So it turns out that like Mexican Marines had raided this place like 6 months earlier, I think, or a few months earlier, and they had killed 6 of the accomplices. So 6.
This is
of
so
the people,
Hollywood.
Oh yeah, 6 of the people related to this were already dead, essentially. So they go to this ranch and they're looking around. Mrs. Rodriguez manages to find shards, fragments of like evidence of pieces of things that people's possessions, other bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. They find a noose hung from the branch of an old tree as well. Okay.
Oh my god.
And then she froze, but she found a stack of personal belongings tossed in a pile, a scarf that had belonged to her daughter, and a seat cushion from her truck. So
this isn't looking
she's pretty
too good
confident
right
now that her daughter was here and is probably dead. Now forensic agents claimed that Karen was not among the dozens of bodies, so they had searched and they had sort of said that her daughter was not here. But Mrs. Rodriguez, as she is exactly this type of person, fought the government on this, pushed and said, no, like I found my daughter's things here, check again. The following year, a group of scientists found a piece of femur belonging to her daughter, and then they were able to confirm that
you're joking.
Had died at this ranch. Yeah. So again, it's kind of, it was Miriam Rodriguez's tenacity to kind of push and say, I found evidence, I know that my daughter was here, you need to search again, check again, and that's how they got closure, I guess, to a certain extent.
I mean, on one hand, that's good, but I was kind of hoping they'd get there and she would be alive.
There's always hope, Chris, but this is, that's what I mean to say, like, this is a very real story, like, it isn't Hollywood in the aspect that, she's able to, save her daughter. She ultimately had to deal with losing her daughter at that point, or, the closure of the fact that her daughter was dead.
The closure, yeah.
But, like, it's... The police officers and the officials who were working with Miriam Rodriguez, they had this like kind of grudging respect for her because she was kind of always there, always asking questions, bugging them essentially. And
just had, that kind of like little pest. Yeah,
exactly. And she kind of she went into a investigation and gave a criminal food and stuff like that. Not everyone got along with her, says Gloria Garza, an official. But you had to respect her mission because of what she was doing.
I'm not surprised. She probably made half the fucking Mexican police force look bad.
Well, yeah, like exactly. Like she was able to. But I guess the thing is, as well, you have to remember, this is happening. Like this isn't the only story of a kidnapping. Like, this is happening all the time. So you got to focus your efforts somewhere. She was able to go and do the work so that the police could then arrest. Otherwise, like, this just would have been another forgotten kidnapping, essentially.
Yeah.
But Chris, another twist of the tale, so to speak.
Okay.
On the drive back from the ranch, so as they're leaving this area back to kind of her home, Mrs. Rodriguez passed a barbecue restaurant near the entrance of the dirt road that led to the ranch.
Okay.
She had eaten there with her daughter Azealia 2 days after Karen was kidnapped. Okay. So she was that close.
You're joking.
To where her daughter was probably being held.
Fuck.
Now, it gets worse. At that time, a neighborhood resident that she knew well, a girl called Elvia Uliza Betancourt, had been seated at a table by herself, just drinking a soda. Mrs. Rodriguez went and said hello and asked whether she had heard anything about her daughter Karen. At that point, pretty much everyone in the neighborhood had already heard, but Miss Betancourt played stupid essentially and was kind of like, oh, don't know what you're talking about, which Mrs. Rodriguez had thought a little bit odd, but hadn't paid too much heed to it. But now, when she was driving by the restaurant again, it dawned on her that maybe the young woman had known something
and concealed it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and she had probably even been watching the ranch in case the police came, because of where she worked was right opposite it. So, enraged, she was enraged because she had known this Miss Betancourt ever since she was a child, abandoned by a prostitute at a local brothel. So she knew this woman since she was a kid. She used to give her Karen's old clothes. Like, that's kind of the relationship that they had.
No way.
So, Miss Rodriguez races home and straight back into her research to try and work out more about this. She discovers that Miss Betancourt was involved romantically with one of the kidnappers.
So she obviously knew.
Exactly. So she had to have known. So just as she had done with the ice cream shop, Mrs. Rodriguez waited for weeks outside the prison during visiting hours until Miss Betancourt finally showed up to visit her. The kidnapper that she was romantically involved with was in prison. I should have mentioned. So she waits outside prison for her to show up. Then the police come, arrested her, and later discovered, this is the fucked up part, that some of the ransom calls had come from her house. So not only did she know that her daughter had been taken, she knew who took them, and that some of the calls were coming from her house, and she played stupid.
I think finding that kind of information out is like just salt in the wound at that point, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
That is a real. Oh my god. And obviously, then that's enough to arrest this lady, because obviously she withheld information.
Exactly. Yeah.
And obviously she was like directly involved. Jesus.
So Chris, right? That's kind of like, that's the story of finding the finding out what happened to her daughter through her kind of relentless persistence. But this is not just a story about finding out what happened; it's also a story about finding justice. So, Mrs. Rodriguez didn't just want to find out what happened to her daughter. She wanted these people to go down. She wanted these people to be put away, locked up, and for justice to be done, essentially.
Okay.
So she's going after them individually. Like, she's working out who they are. We mentioned before, she's asking relatives for information about them. Where are they? What are they doing? How can I find them? How do I link them back to... the kid, Christian, had given a lot of names.
Yeah.
So she had, like, leads to work on.
Okay.
One of the examples of, like, the lengths that she went to, right, is this guy. Now, in the article on New York Times, it's called The Florist. You want to check that out? The Florist.
Okay.
The Florist, right?
Okay.
She had been hunting him for a year, stalking him online, interrogating the criminals that he had worked with, and even befriended some of his relatives for tips on his whereabouts. She finally had one. A widow had called to tell her that he was peddling flowers on the border. So he was like, as cars came through the border checkpoints, he was like trying to sell flowers. He had done this. She knew that he had done this when he was younger, before he had joined the cartel. And now that he was on the run, he had went back to what he knew, essentially trying to sort of make ends meet. Without showering, I don't know why that's important, but apparently without showering, she threw on a trench coat over her pajamas, a baseball cap over her fire engine red hair, and a gun in her purse, and headed to the border to find the florist.
What?
Yep. Like, that's what I mean. She is determined, right? On the bridge, so I guess this is a bridge at the border.
Yeah.
She scoured the vendors for flower carts, but that day he was selling sunglasses, not flowers. When she finally found him, she got too excited and got too close. He recognized her and took off.
He spooked? Oh, no way.
He got spooked. So he sprinted across along the narrow pedestrian pass on the bridge, hoping to get away. Mrs. Rodriguez, 56 years of age, chases after him, grabbed him by the shirt.
No, she
wrestled
didn't.
him. She did. She wrestled him into the rails and jammed her handgun into his back.
What?
So, maybe a little bit like Taken after all.
This is true. This happened.
This is 100% true. This all happened.
This 56-year-old lady dressed in a trench coat and her pajamas runs after this like fucking young guy on a bridge and catches him. That just shows the level of determination this woman had. You know the way you always hear of like these like mothers and stuff performing like these feats of like
incredible feats
to like save their kids. This is it right here. She became the Mexican Usain Bolt right there in that moment.
I don't even think she had to run too quickly because it is like a crowded little pedestrian access way.
It's still pretty quick, like for a 56-year-old lady. Well, exactly.
She took him down, wrestled him to the ground. She holds his gun to him and she says, "If you move, I'll shoot you." And according to family members involved in her scramble, she held him there for nearly an hour. She basically sat there for an hour with the police.
I'm picturing she's just sitting like on his back and he's like struggling or something. Oh my God.
Just like with a gun on him, like. And the police did eventually come and arrested him. In the months that passed,
why the hell did it take the police an hour? Like, Jesus.
I don't know, because like border police would be like right there.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like, she's doing the work for them, man. She's doing the work for them. In the months that passed, Mrs. Rodriguez continued to fill her bag with clues that she run from case files, but with each passing day, the leads she had, they all kind of like grew more faint. So like she's like losing leads as people move around and they get away and stuff like that. Some of the culprits were dead. 6 had been shot by the Marines. Others were already in jail for other crimes. We saw that with the girl who had like a romantic relationship. He had been imprisoned for another crime. And those who were still on the street had tried to forge new lives as, selling flowers, taxi drivers, delivery men, or in this, in the case of Enrique Flores, a born-again Christian.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
And this is truly a Hollywood moment if I've never seen one, because Mrs. Rodriguez went to Aldama, a small hometown of about 13,000 people. This is the hometown of Enrique Flores.
Yeah.
She went to visit his grandmother. So she'd worked out who his grandmother is, apparently. With a heavy sigh, the elderly woman told her that the boy had always been trouble, but at least now he was going to church. That's all.
This is what the grandmother said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she didn't give anything away. That's all she said. That's all Miss Rodriguez needed. Ugh, can't speak.
Oh my days.
Mrs. Rodriguez began attending the service. So she became a parishioner in that church. Sure enough, she found him there. Inside the chapel, that's when the police came. That's when she made the call for the police to come. Inside the chapel, during service, the police came and arrested him, and parishioners could hardly believe it. One asked Mrs. Rodriguez for mercy, and she scoffed. Where was his compassion the day he killed my daughter?
What?
Yeah. In church. In a church, she says this, like, as police are taking this guy down. I mean, that's straight out of a Hollywood film, like, if I've ever seen one.
This story just has so much going for it. It's fucking phenomenal. I've just had to Google a picture of Miriam Rodríguez there just to put a fresh image.
Oh, I see.
And I can't.
Like, it's not like she's not Liam Neeson from Taken at all.
She's just an average Mexican mummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that fire hydrant red hair, and she looks so innocent and so sweet.
And she was she nannied, or she was a nanny for a family in Texas. That's the type of woman she is. But this is the lengths that she's willing to go to because for her daughter.
Okay.
For justice, Chris.
Anyway, I'll close that. Yep.
So basically, right, I'll bring us up to March 2017. So this abduction happened in January 2014. We're now in March 2017. Mrs. Rodriguez has put away nearly 10 people. Right?
The fucking cartel at this point.
Exactly. A lot of them were already put away for other crimes or killed. Now she's literally in person captured like 2 people. She's been responsible for the capture of like 3 others. And there's others even aside from this the police investigated and put away without like her immediate involvement. So March 2017, 24 prisoners escape from the penitentiary in Ciudad Victoria, which is where she had put away
these people
who got her daughter. So there's a prison break, right, which I guess is not super surprising considering the place that we're in. She's pretty concerned because this is where like she put away people. You don't mess with the cartels, and now they've gotten out of prison. So she asked the government for protection. The police said that they would send periodic patrols by her house and her work. Her family was not satisfied by this, but she didn't let that stop her. Okay. So she basically continues to hunt down people, follows her leads. While out, I guess you could say on patrol one day. Yeah. She slips and breaks her foot while pursuing another target. So she comes down with a broken foot, falls down and breaks her foot.
I got the broken foot again, you know.
So now she's kind of set back a little bit. She needs crutches.
Sorry, I've just lost your face there. You've gone a wee bit blurry on me.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize profusely.
I mean, the first time in this entire podcast is pretty damn good. So she comes out with a broken foot.
She comes out with a broken foot. And it kind of obviously sets her back. She can't go chasing people down.
Yeah, she can't be doing
bridges
what she's doing. Yeah.
With a broken foot. On the 10th of May, 2017, she's headed home. And she's actually living back with her husband.
Oh, okay. Good.
In the home where...
This is starting to wrap up nicely.
In the home where Karen once stayed. So she parks up on the street and she climbs out of the car and she's still on her crutches because of her injury.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A white Nissan truck carrying men who had escaped the prison quietly pulled up behind her.
No.
They fired 13 rounds.
Oh, for fuck's.
Her husband, inside watching television, came out to find her lying face down in the street, hand tucked inside her purse next to her pistol. She died on her way to the hospital at 57 years of age. So... And that was Mother's Day.
Oh, 2017.
So, you don't mess with the cartels in San Fernando, as they say, Chris. And this is part of the reason why.
No, I don't think that's a nice way to finish that story. Not the fact that she's dead, but the fact that we're saying you don't mess with the cartels. You know, this woman did.
Oh,
and she fucking nearly got away with it. Well, she did get away with it. She put them behind bars.
It's not the end of the story completely. Mrs. Rodriguez once said, "I don't care if they kill me. I died the day that they killed my daughter. I want to end this. I'm going to take out the people who hurt my daughter, and they can do whatever they want to me." Now, she passed away from her injuries on Mother's Day 2017. In June of that year, nearly a month after her death, officials in the state of Veracruz, acting with information that she had provided, arrested yet another suspect in Karen's case.
Good.
They had found the woman who had, and this is fucking grim, this is a woman who had beaten and tortured her during the kidnapping, hanging her up like a boxing bag and punching her.
The daughter?
Yeah, they punched the daughter, yeah. This woman had fled to Veracruz and she had switched careers, if you want to say that, to drive a taxi while raising her son, but she could not escape justice because of Miriam Rodríguez, who even beyond the grave, her information was still taking these people down. Now, you said you don't want to end on you don't mess with the cartels. That's why I would suggest you go read the article by the New York Times, because basically what happened with Miriam Rodríguez was, in her death, like the response to that was so extreme. People were like inspired by her as a figure.
Everybody started rising up against the cartels, did they?
Not so much, but some people now were like more resistant. They were pushing the police. You have to do more.
Yeah.
You know, the response was strong. And the case that the New York Times article covers is another case of a young boy who goes missing. More recently, 2019, I think. And it's the parallels between this case and that case and how the response has changed.
I'm
so... Like, she had a massive impact. And like she was, as you said, like, she was like treated like almost like a saint, like the things that she had achieved and the things that she had done.
So. I'm so like honored that we got to hear that story and that you told, and thank you so much, like the level of detail that you managed to get together for that. But it's so sad that we finished on such a bitter note, you know what I mean? I kind of like, as you say, it's not a Hollywood movie, so it's not going to end, the way you kind of want it to. But it's heartbreaking.
It's the fact that she did all those things with the knowledge that she was probably going to die because of it,
Yeah.
And like her family were always worried that that's what was going to happen.
How far a mother would go to not even avenge, but just to get justice for her daughter.
In terms of like the outcomes of that, her son Luis, he now runs the foundation that she started to help families who have been affected by this. So he runs that. Okay,
there's a foundation.
There is a foundation, and I believe there's a. I didn't actually grab this down, but there's a plaque in her honor, somewhere in San Fernando.
I'm going to see if I can get a picture of that.
Yeah.
And I'll put that up later on in the week after people have had a chance to actually listen to the podcast, because I don't want to ruin it. But wow!
So she has been
memorialized. Yeah.
As like kind of what people can do when they stand up to the cartels, and what San Fernando, Mexico wants to be, rather than kind of what the cartels is forcing upon them. So she's a symbol.
The story is truly unbelievable, Dee.
Yeah. No, it's just truly incredible. The fact that she did all of that work. She staked people out. She found out about them. She disguised herself.
Yeah, like sitting for 2 weeks just watching. That's just something that you see in a movie, you hear in a movie, and
she had so much courage. Man.
She's
not afraid of anything.
I'm truly saddened to hear. I only know of this lady for the last 45 minutes. And it was so sad to hear that's the way that she went. But I mean, Mother's Day. It's pretty.
I know.
It's pretty.
It was just so like poetic.
Yeah, poetic. What a fantastic story.
Like, she did say. She said that she would hunt them down one by one until the day she died, and that's exactly what she did.
That's what she did.
That was the promise she made.
Wow. Incredible.
And I think another thing that's really cool about this is that this isn't Batman. This isn't Liam Neeson from Taken. This is
This is an average woman. An everyday woman. A nanny, a mother, and
she ran a
store, worker, an employee,
Like, just incredible stuff.
Thank you so much for bringing that story, Dee. I know that everybody listens to that. Like, you can't not enjoy that story and enjoy knowing about that. Maybe not enjoy that, maybe that's not the wrong word, but feel maybe inspired by it, or
it was an immense pleasure, Chris, to research that.
Thank you so much.
As I was reading it and learning more about it, I was just like, this is incredible. Like,
this could be
what this woman did.
This could be another Jan Balsarod for us. If anybody else out there who listens to this knows the story and wants to add or give us more information, I'd be more than happy to hear more about this, because this is one of my favorites by far, and we know that you're going to enjoy it as much as we have. So, Dee, thank you so much. That was terrific, absolutely terrific.
Excellent.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Kind of finished. I wouldn't say on a sour note. It's quite a nice note. Just a wee bit somber, I guess. But shall we? What do we go on to now? Personal with the podcast. Yeah, personal with the podcast, because I got no questions this week, so we'll go personal. Yeah.
Let's do it, boy.
Forgive me, I haven't put anything on the social media for people to kind of interact and send us questions, but I will be back with that next week. So, but I think we can discuss like our last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because it has been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
technical issues kept us away from you last week.
That's ears. Right. That's right. Anything new and noteworthy with you, Dee?
I don't think so. I mean,
it's just like, we've been away for 2 weeks, so there's definitely, we're going to hit you with what we've been up to. Anything new with you? Nah, not really.
Oh, nah, not really.
Yeah, same old.
I mean, I watched The Queen's Gambit. That's
excellent.
I was just about
to ask, because I got to add. You see any movies? Because I wanted to add to our movie list.
No movies.
Okay, well, I'll just leave.
I watched the Queen's Gambit, right? But I also watched Dark on Netflix.
Dark,
which is a German program that we watched about. It's like time travel, kind of. It's like 33 years apart, everything split. But all these stories kind of intertwine and whatnot. It's pretty good.
Delicious.
It's got some Lost vibes, Chris, that you might enjoy.
Nice.
And you kind of feel a little bit more cultural watching it because they're speaking in German, you know?
Oh, yeah. I do like to feel cultured once in a while. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not really cultured because I'm not picking any of it up. I'm just reading the subtitles. Yeah. But, you know, danke.
Yeah, danke is right.
I know words.
Good. That's a nice watch. I myself, I don't know if this is how you want to do it, just back and forth. Or if you want to tell me. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I meant to mention this a wee while ago because I watched this, I think, right after New Year's. So it makes it into a list of movies this year. But I watched A Bad Day for the Cut. Have you seen it? It's on Netflix. And I highly recommend it. It's a movie about a man whose mother gets killed. Okay, I'm going to try not to spoil too much here. A man whose mother gets killed and he sets out for revenge. Kind of Miriam Rodríguez vibes here. The thing is, he sets out after the people, the quote-unquote cartel, if you like. The people are held responsible for this. But, and this is the catch, if you like, for us, it's set in Belfast.
Oh, very nice.
In terms of an Irish movie, it's fantastic. It's so good. It's I highly recommend it. It's got so much dark humor and so many like little idiosyncrasies. Is that the word? Leaning towards like Irish kind of culture and comedy, and they do a fabulous job with it. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's called A Bad Day for the Cut. It's on Netflix. Watch it if you get 2 hours, sometime over the next week.
I think I will. Intrigued me thoroughly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good movie. I also watched a movie documentary called Transamericana. It's about a guy called an ultra runner called Ricky Gates who made his way from one coast of America to the other just running. But it's not so much about him actually running. It's more about the people that he meets along the way, because he did this right as Donald Trump was first being sworn in 2016, and he kind of wanted to understand why people were voting the way they were voting and doing the things they were doing. It's really eye-opening, I have to say, like, because the people he meets and gets talking to, you're like, huh, okay. It's like, wow, okay. So if you're even interested at all in, you don't even have to be interested in running or anything physical like that. It's just a real kind of eye-opening story and a journey this man took. It's called Transamericana. It's on YouTube. Very, very, very good documentary.
Sounds like a Forrest Gump set in 2016.
It's yes. He actually makes a reference to that. Yeah.
That's pretty nice, Chris. Very, very good. Sounds like not odd picks, but like, it sounds like a very diverse library.
It's varied.
You're not just going in with the Marvel Avengers movies.
No. And Terminator 2 Judgment Day was on last night, so we sat and we watched a good 3/4 of that before I went to bed.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Aside from that, I haven't watched too much else. Tell me something else with you. Tell me something else with you.
My big addiction has been Minecraft lately, Chris.
I fucking knew it. It's
bad, like,
I knew it. Do you know how I knew? Because I went on to I was on our YouTube channel or something, and I went to type into the search bar for, I was looking for some Call of Duty, and all I seen was like Minecraft. These different Minecraft searches, and I was like, this son of a bitch, he's going after it.
Yeah, it's happening, man. We're there. We're in deep at the moment.
Sorry, I need to take this moment to shout out James Sinker, who over the last couple of days has been back streaming. He's getting back into streaming, and he set himself a goal for 50 subs at the end of the year, 365 days to get it. He hit it last night after only a week back on Twitch. I know. I was so
lightning speed.
It's insane. I was so happy to be there watching and kind of be a part of that. But he's actually streaming Alpha Minecraft at the minute, and it was a joy to watch last night.
Christopher, the other addiction that I've had, and I will absolutely be checking out Sinker's stream. I have been watching Twitch. Like, I've never understood the appeal of Twitch before.
I believe it or not, and I want to go on because I want to talk about something after.
As a person watching people play games, typically I'm not. I'd just rather play the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the approach that I would have. But lately, I have been watching various streamers on Twitch, and it is addictive in a way. Like what I've been watching is the Rust. You ever hear of Rust, Chris?
Rust, yeah, of course I have. Yeah,
it's basically it's like grown up kind of Minecraft survival type of game.
I have, yeah.
And I've been watching just like all these streamers playing on a server together, and it's just been hilarious watching some of the fucking things that happen. From that, I've been like just clicking through to find other streamers. And
personally,
other,
I would love. See when you get set up and get a nice setup going. I would love for you to start streaming.
Yeah, we'll start. We'll do like a streaming podcast type thing.
I would love to do it.
Games.
It's something I'd love to do, but obviously I can't with my connection and things. But it's something I'd love to. Anyway, sorry, I meant to shout out.
You can video chat pretty good. I don't know. Just
you never know.
When the Zoom gods allow it, we can do a pretty good video.
Well, that's it. Maybe I'll stream early on a Saturday morning. Fingers crossed. But no, James Sinker, his Twitch handle thing user will be in the description of this video version of the podcast. Please, if you're listening and you're into video games and stuff, go over and give him a follow. I highly recommend him. And watching him stream Minecraft last night was excellent, so thank you. This is what I wanted to touch on. One of the I've never really been into streaming either, but at the start of lockdown I started following Badass Games. He was a guy called Matt somebody. He was American. And he was the only guy, not really the only guy, but one of them who streamed the old Tomb Raider games, like the old Tomb Raiders 1 through Chronicles. And like this dude was like insane at them. Like he when I watched him through lockdown, he did a no deaths run of Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation, which is like beyond, like I don't even know how he fucking did that. It's insane. He had a huge following, all these people who love Tomb Raider, and he had a Reddit account, a YouTube, he had Twitch, he had Facebook, Instagram, the whole lot. Right before Christmas, I went on to watch some more Badass Games to see what he was getting up to, because the last I seen he was doing Tomb Raider 3 level editor, I think it was. And I found a video that kind of shocked me, and the video was what happened to Badass Games. And I thought, okay, so I went into it. This guy overnight went from streaming and saying, I'll see you all tomorrow. He's gone. His Twitch is gone. All his videos on YouTube is gone. His channel is down. None of his social media is active. And dude, this guy was making it. Like, he was climbing fast. I don't know what.
Off the charts, gone.
Like it's worrying. Like, he hasn't even responded to say, listen, I'm okay. I'm taking time away. I needed a mental break. He's gone, like vanished. And nobody knows what's happening. And he had such a big following. And there's videos everywhere kind of suggesting what had happened. But, you don't like to
guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean,
it's a person.
I'm expecting, you're kind of like expecting the worst, but you don't want that to be the case. But I'm super sad by it, because even all his videos, like the clips that went to YouTube, are gone. There's nothing left of him anymore. The whole legacy that he
clean off,
gone. All the Tomb Raider videos gone, and it's just so sad, and I have no idea what happened. So I just wanted to put that out there. The Badass Games.
If anyone knows,
I don't think anybody does, but it's such a strange and bizarre thing, man.
Don't want any weird speculation.
No, absolutely not. But
that's weird, man.
A lot of people are. I'm going to stick with that story for a while, because not stick with it, but I'm going to keep tabs on it, because in terms of streamers, he was one of the few I watched, and I liked him a lot. And I kind of want to know where he went to, because if I ever had the chance to stream, you bet your ass I'm going to be streaming old Tomb Raider. That's the only thing I'm going to stream.
Yeah. Like, if you want to see Chris play old Tomb Raider games, that's on our channel. You can see that.
Yeah. Actually, I tell you what, if anybody in the history of the world would like to see that, let us know, and I will make that happen. Maybe not stream. Maybe I'll do YouTube again, but let me know. Yeah. I'll jump back into it. I just need that kind of kick to be like, yeah, let's go. But yeah. Yeah, sorry. What else did I get up to this week, D? So I'm sitting currently at my desk, the IKEA desktop, and here's something else. There's something else that shocked me, and I don't like it, dude. The Alex drawers, like the real famous, not famous, but kind of made famous by like video, by
ones where it's
battle stations everywhere.
It's like 4 small ones and 2 big ones.
That's exactly
we have
it.
those.
Yeah, exactly. You have them. I have them. They're right here. They're fantastic drawer. They're lovely. Okay. Went on to IKEA to get myself to a few purchases. They have discontinued the Alex drawers.
Why?
What? Why would you discontinue one of your biggest sellers?
That's like McDonald's discontinuing the Big Mac.
That's exactly.
Why would you do that?
That's exactly what it's like. So I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" You know, I'm trying to get.
Is it stock shortages or something?
No, it's gone. They have discontinued the product completely. There is none. There's none in any color. No, I don't know. Maybe if you could go to like physically go to a store, and if they have some left on like the shop floor, on the store floor, you know, maybe you can buy. But they're gone. I was shocked by that. I was shocked. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird week.
Were you planning to extend the desk?
I am.
Like a mega desk?
I have. I haven't extended it yet. It's on the way. I bought another desktop. £6, D. I paid for a desktop. £6.
What size is that?
It's.
What are we talking about here?
It's so the one I have at the minute is 2 meters long by like 60 centimeters wide. So this is half of that. So I went for 1 meter by 60 again. And what I'm going to do is over at my window here, I'm going to put the long one and then run the short one along the wall in like an L shape. I'm going to set my TV up. I'm going to set this up, and then I'm going to start getting back to just little videos over here. I have some things lined up. I'll talk to you a bit about it, but I have some things.
Like a dedicated workstation.
Exactly. So I'm going to make a few changes like that. But £6 I paid for the desk. I was like, why would I not? You know?
Oh, Jesus, you're losing money if you don't buy it.
Exactly, yeah.
If that goes up to £8 and you want to buy it, what are you going to do then?
I know, exactly.
£2 straight down the toilet.
IKEA are practically begging me to take it at that price, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm looking to do. Yeah.
Well, I like that. I like hearing about like updates to like the setup, you know, the battle station, as they say.
Yeah, the battle station indeed. I'm looking to pick myself up a new camera as well. I have one in mind for making a couple of little videos. I have my eye on a few, so I'll update you with that hopefully next week. I'm trying to keep everything quite quiet and under wraps at the minute, but I have an idea.
Oh yeah, no. Those big things coming, people. Big things. Hype up. Get hyped, everyone.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Chris, it's all about over-promising. Over-promise, under-deliver every time.
Yeah, the over-promised, under-delivered show. That's another rebrand.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's what I've been up to this week. I played another bit of Call of Duty, jumped into Mosh Pit Snipers Only, loving it. Fucking loving it.
I hated that. I was not.
I love it. I tell you what.
That's where it's like a tiny little map with 4 people. That one?
No, they've opened it up. I know the one you're talking about. They've opened it up to the regular maps, but you can only use snipers.
Okay, that wouldn't be too bad then, I don't think.
Myself and my brothers jumped in, and a shout out to my brother Michael if he's listening to this. Today is his birthday, his day of birth.
Happy birthday.
But we were playing the other night, and I swear to God, man, he cleaned up with the sniper. Aaron and I were both kind of looking at each other like, what the fuck are we witnessing here? Like, it was insane. Like, he was quick scoping everywhere, man. I was like, what is going on?
Your Michael probably started with like probably Fortnite or something, or maybe something like that.
No, that's exactly
Those kids are gonna be sick. Like, that's it. Like, it's such an approachable format.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's insane.
It's on a Switch. It's you can get it anywhere. You can get it on your phone, for crying out loud. They're going to be so used to the mechanics of like first-person shooters. Once they come on to like bigger games like that, they're just going to be like, no bother.
He was playing GTA 5 yesterday, and he was playing it in first-person mode, just running about like sniping guys, and I was like, this is so surreal. But the other day we were doing the mosh pit, and Aaron and I were looking at each other like laughing. Like we always just take the piss out of each other when we're playing, and we were starting to take the piss out of Michael, and suddenly the two of us just went quiet because he was like on sprees. He was like on like a 12-13 kill streak at one point, just like quick scoping everywhere. I was like, what the fuck is going on here, D?
You were going to have to face very shortly the fact that your kid brother who used to like beat up and down all over the place in games, I should probably Specify. Around the house, up and down the stairs. No, yeah, but you know, like in those games where you had to like go easy on them and you still hammer them, now they're going to come and absolutely destroy
It's
you.
time to pass the proverbial mantle, I guess, D. Yeah.
That's it, like, that's it, man.
It's sad. It's a sad day. I got to get my shit on. I'm going to start grinding again today because I can't let that happen.
You got to be a little proud as well, Lucas, because, you know, you're probably part of the reason that he got good.
Well, you know, I am somewhat of an influencer, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pushed him.
I pushed him hard.
You give him the edge.
Yeah. I pushed him at the fucking door when he started doing that quickscope and shit the other night. I was like, not up in here. You know? Making us look bad.
Not in this room. You get out of here.
But that's all really I got up to this week. I have nothing. Oh, I did my first ultra run of the season last weekend. Myself and my dad both did it. It was a 31 miler. It was tasty. It was a long one, a long day out. We explored the roads of Castlesheen, Clontibbert and Derrynoose thoroughly.
The Trinity.
The Trinity, the
That's
Holy Trinity.
In road running circles, they call that the Trinity.
That's exactly what it's called. Yeah, you're quite the road running aficionado.
I like to observe, not so much. I don't partake in the activities as much as I chronicle them in my big book of road running.
Yeah, Dee's bumper book of road running for beginners.
Yeah, there's an album you can get at the end of the year. Pick us up on Amazon.
Yeah. Oh,
what do you call it? That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, it's the first.
How long did that take?
That was 6 hours, just a little over 6 hours.
Yeah.
It was a long day out. But no, it was great. It was very, very good. And that's it, like just building towards the 50 miler now in June. So 50 mile, I've worked out, I can run exactly to Belfast City Airport from my house. So I'll meet you there.
That's insane. Yeah, meet me there. Yeah,
yeah, I'll meet you there for maybe a coffee and we'll watch the planes. You'll have to drive me home because I'm not turning and running home.
I'll get you. I'll get you close.
I'll drop
get you to Lisburn.
Yeah, okay, that'll do.
Well, you should do that though. I don't know if that's actually feasible. You can't really run on the motorway. Can you get there without going on the motorway?
I mean, people run on the motorway, but I don't know if it's allowed.
Oh no, it's not allowed. No pedestrians.
Oh, okay. Okay, then yeah.
But if you can get near, you should definitely run to meet us, and then we'll do a podcast.
Okay.
You're just sitting there absolutely exhausted and we're like, all right, Chris, let's go for a nice 2 to 3 hour pod. What do you think?
Legs all stretchies and oh god, that sounds awesome.
Then the cramps start.
Here, tell me this. What is your opinion on a standing desk?
Yeah, I'd be pro.
Yeah, pro standing. Yeah.
Thumbs up. There's standing desks in the office that I maybe used twice when I was there. The biggest problem with a standing desk is
you have to stand.
No, it's really fun when you have to stand. I quite enjoyed it. In an office, your standing desk is maybe one of 3 standing desks in a sea of seated people. So
yeah.
your screen is like, it's almost like, it's like putting a screen up on the wall.
Yeah.
So you're completely visible. So if you want to
listen to this podcast in the open, you should.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't, it kind of puts you off. That's one thing. Another thing is, right, so stupid, the mental thing of like, I'd like to stand, but it's going to take like a minute to get it into standing format.
Yeah.
I'll do it after lunch or something, and then you just don't do it.
I'm thinking about trying to interrogate some kind of standing format into my desk when I make it.
Interrogate? Interrogate, you said.
Oh, did I? Integrate. Fuck me. Jesus.
Why won't you stand?
Give
me the answers.
I'm so cartel in the brain after that story, D.
But yeah, geez. I think I would love to have a standing desk. To get like a good one for the house though, they're pretty expensive. Like don't get if you're thinking about it, don't get one of the ones you have to wind it up. I'm telling you now, you'll never do it.
You'll never wind it up.
No, you will. You'll either commit to standing or sitting, and that'll be it. Okay. Particularly if only one of your desks are like that, because then you'll go like, you'll have a standing desk that you always leave up, which is probably fine, and a sitting desk.
Okay.
And you'll probably, well, actually, that could work if you can do 2 desks. Just get a standing desk.
That's good advice. I'd like to do a podcast standing to see how it feels. I always feel like
Would you like one that is always standing or that is convertible?
I think what I'd like to have is like, so I'm thinking about having like my normal, like this one seated, the little bit beside it, and then some kind of like standing kind of base built where I can transition to like, okay, I can stand, I can work here, I can edit the podcast here, but if I want to, I can go back to seated to like make notes or something. I don't know.
They do those things where it's like you basically get like your desk topper, but it's on legs.
Yes.
And it sits on top of your regular desk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I might try something like that to see how that goes, and maybe try a podcast like that with you through Zoom sometime. I think that could be good, because I always feel like once I stand up after podcasts or even sitting, it just, my legs are just done, man. And yeah, I got to work on like my legs and things for running, and being seated for long periods of time just isn't agreeing with me at the minute. So yeah, I might look into that. Yeah. Thank you for that advice. And thank you for everybody listening to us having this conversation about standing desks in the podcast. Such waffle, but this is what you get. Let us
know if you are pro standing desk or anti standing desk.
And shout out to all of you listening to the Empty Promise podcast at your office, if you're still at an office or work, or whatever. You know.
True, actually.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I don't think I have anything else to add. I'm probably going to get some type of food this evening. It's nice to have this done on a Saturday, I must admit, because now I have a bit of time to edit it. I don't feel pressured all day tomorrow as well.
Some type of food, Chris.
Yeah.
You're not sure what type of food, but
I think I might go for Thai tonight. Go for a nice Thai.
Ooh, that is nice. A Thai green curry. How about that?
Nice. What about you? Any plans for the weekend?
Our oven is broken.
Oh, you're fucking joking.
It's meant to get fixed today, so hopefully
that's just not the news I needed today.
No, but hopefully we'll be able to make meals again as of today.
I mean, it's a good excuse to order in.
It is.
I see that smile on your face as soon as I
using
say
that excuse, and yeah, it's not good. Like,
of course, it's good. I mean, you have the ability to do so. I do not. Living in the sticks, you do not have that privilege.
Yeah, that's true. Like we have, and it's also about like the options. Like we have so many options as well.
Yeah. So nice.
Even if you did get somewhere to deliver, it would probably be like the bad one.
Oh yeah.
You know, the not so good one. They deliver further because
I think at the minute where I live, I think Apache in Castleblaney will deliver to like the top of the Caledon line, the top of the Crossnina Road, and that's it. It's still a mile for me to go, so I don't really want to do that. You know,
you could drive up and meet them.
Don't think that's.
Or you could run up, and then that way you don't feel as bad.
I could run up, away. Yeah.
And then you'd be like, I burnt about 2 miles. You have to run back. So what's a 2 mile run?
I don't know, like 200 calories maybe. No, not even 100
that's
something.
200 calories.
Yeah, that's a slice. yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe probably not even.
This bar was about 200 calories. So you go. But yeah, that's all I have. Do you want to add anything?
No.
I think this was
I've
great.
added enough.
This was great. Thank you so much. I really enjoy that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been episode 118 of the Empty Promise podcast. If you are listening to the audio version, remember the video version is available over at youtube.com/emptypromisepodcast. And alternatively, if you are watching the video, you can find the audio on any podcast hosting service. Get in touch with us through our social media. Just search for the handle Empty Promise Podcast over on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And you can also email us with your questions and queries and comments. And our email is
emptypromisepodcast@gmail.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's listened, who tunes in, who gets in contact with us. It's a privilege. We are so glad to be back. And we'll see you all next week for episode 119, Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tailed. Goodbye and God bless.
Bye-bye.